and welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a fabulous day. I have a design team project to share with you for ASC craft supplies. And remember to use my coupon code Michelle10 for 10% off, and any order $75 or more ships free. And I did use the Echo Park Cupid and Company paper collection. I absolutely love this collection. I think it is so pretty. So on the top, I have used some of these stickers as well as the tags and frames ephemera. And what I did on the bottom is I just cut some of the frames and tags in half and then put them where you could see them underneath the rosette. And I took some of the stickers, the floral stickers, and cut them apart and just tucked in underneath the rosette. And I have some tiny little sweetheart blossoms that are also from ASC Craft Supplies, and tucked those in. And then I have this adorable little flower truck on the top and another frame underneath. And then this bow was a sticker as well as the lips. And I put the little XOXO down here in the corner. And I did add some red flat back pearls as well as this white one on the top for some dimension. And this is a little shoe box. Turn it around, and I used some really pretty red glitter paper I had in my stash, and I just love this black paper with the red lips. And then when you open it up, I do have a little ephemera piece that I'm going to put on the top here. I'll use some little pop dots and put it on there so the recipient can use that, and it says Happy Valentine's Day. And then when you open it up, you will see this little adorable Converse MDC. And I will leave a link for what I created for Tamika's swap that she hosted. I'll leave what I created for her swap in the description box as well. And I just love how this came out using the paper. And I used this really pretty red glitter paper on the toe of the shoe as along the bottom and the back. And as I mentioned in my other video, I did enlarge the tongue a little bit and created the memory decks piece for the bottom. But I love how this came out. And I used a sticker piece and another one of the little sweetheart blossoms and then some leaves that I cut out with a Cricut. But I just love this paper collection. I think it is so pretty. This will also be a swap for the Loaded Envelope Galore and More Facebook group, so make sure to check that out. And stay tuned for the tutorial. When you download Karolina's file, you will size the shoe to 14.483 wide by 11.809 tall, and I will have that in the description box below. So I have cut the pieces out, and I will be sharing a file where I created the memory deck space, as well as I changed the tongue of the shoe, and I added a few more tabs on her toe portion. And then I made this piece, I just sliced it down so I could put that there. Okay, so I think this is all of the pieces, and she does have it where if you used single-sided paper, you could glue two pieces together to make it double-sided. So what I've done is I've used a decorative piece on top of some cardstock, and I know it's a little bit short, but I wanted to use the 6x6 paper, and you will not see this part. I went ahead and glued that together. And then I think I want this red glitter to go there. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm going to hold off on it. And I glued the tongue portions together. And this is the base of the shoe that we will glue everything with tabs to. So what I'm going to do is I'll just set these pieces aside for now. And I'll just slide that up. And I will get my bone folder, and we want to curve this just to make it easier when we start putting it to the sole of the shoe. So if we get it started, see, it just will make it a lot easier. And we want to attach the back portion of the shoe to the smaller end of the shoe, because you know your heel is smaller than the toe. So we'll do that, and I'm just going to find the middle here. I think it's right about there. I'm just going to put a tiny little pencil mark right there. And I'm using art glitter glue, and I'm just going to put glue on a couple of the tabs. And let's see here. I'm just going to put barely a little mark on this, and that looks like about the center right there. Just barely see it. And I'm going to line the two centers up, and I'm just going to hold that because we want to make sure we get a good anchor before we start doing the rest of the shoe. And I've got the two center pieces lined up, and then I can go like this and bend this out so when we get to the curve it will attach nicely. And that looks pretty good. What I'll do is I'll put glue on the tabs and then just run it like that. So now I'm going to put glue on several tabs, and then I'm just going to push those in like so, and then I'm just going to run my finger along them and make sure you get the tip, the very front, pushed in. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Glue the red glitter to the top of this, and you're just going to butt it up along the score line right there where the tabs meet. We have the red glitter glued to the base piece that goes around the toe of the shoe, and I'm going to put glue not on the tabs but the solid portion, and we're going to glue this to this. We're just going to go right up. I'm going to fold the tabs up just a little bit, and we're going to go right up against the tabs. I'm going to take my bone folder, and we're just going to curve this so it'll go around the toes. And when I did that, there we go, just trim that little extra piece off. And I'm going to find the center. So that's the center. And I'm going to put glue on just the two portions there. And we will figure out the center here. It's right about there. So we'll get the two anchored and do like we did the back. And now I'm going to put glue on the tabs and wrap it around the shoe like we did the back. Now I'm going to put glue on this side and do the same thing. We can take the toe portion, my bone folder, and I'm going to curve it a little bit so it will go together a little bit easier. Just going to fold these tabs all down. And we'll find the center. And that looks about like it right there. So I'm going to glue this center tab to what looks like the middle of the shoe. And I'm lining the score line up with the top of the white paper. And I'm just going to go around and put glue on these tabs. And just put some glue on these. We'll put some glue on these. Just going to squeeze the shoe, and then I could slide this in and glue it. I'm just lining this up so they'll be flush again. I'm going to glue this red glitter to the top of the toe of the shoe. Just going to line it up. And you could do this before, but I wasn't 100% sure if this was what I wanted to go on the top, so that's why I didn't do it. Okay, and I like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of bend this just a little bit so it will have room for the layer to go in. So you want to make sure you've got room, and I've just bent that front piece, and we'll glue this down eventually, but I'm leaving it free just to make it easier to work with. Or let's see, I cut a little piece so I can make a template. So I'm going to go like this, and like so, right there. And I'm just going to put some little dots right there. And now we will do our hole punch for this. I'm going to do the smaller one. So I'm just going to double check this. And I like the lineup of those. Pull that up like so. So that looks good. So I'm going to take this side, and I'm just going to use this white gel pen and mark the shoe. That way I can see it through the hole punch. Just a little dot. And we've got that marked. And now I'm just going to use some clips. Clip these together. I think this will work. Just mark onto our holes. Have our holes punched in our decorative paper. And you can see where I've kind of bent the shoe here to make it go down. I'm just going to line this up once again. I just like to keep double checking to make sure everything is going to work like I want it to. So I'm just going to put glue along this portion and right here. Just tuck that in underneath, like so. Just get it forward just a little bit. And I'm making sure this is flush along here because glue will be underneath there. And now I'm going to put some glue inside the tab here. Use my baby wipe to wipe off the excess. Okay, got that lined up. And now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So we have our shoe put together, and I can put a little bit more glue right here just to hold that a little bit better. So that looks good. And now I'm going to use score tape to adhere the tongue of the shoe. I've tried glue and it always seems to come loose, so I'm just centering this up between the sides of the shoe. Push that down like so. There's the tongue. Okay. And I did forget this piece that I made. I want to glue it in the back. So I'm just going to put glue along this side. I just want it to peek up a little bit. There. Like so. And just push it. Looks good. So I have brought in the rest of the pieces to complete our shoe. And I have the 2 pieces that I created in Silhouette Design Space, and I will share the file for the Memory Deck Space pieces, as well as this little part that I created here to just go inside the shoe, and it also reinforces that heel to make it sturdy. And I will include the tongue that I enlarged, and I do believe I enlarged it just to 4 inches, but I'll put those 3 pieces in a file and share separately from Karolina's file. Okay, so I'm just going to set that to the side, and I did cut a piece of paper with my paper trimmer that is a 1/4 inch wide by 6 inches, and this is going to go around the bottom of the shoe, like so. And I have inked my edges, and I will get my bone folder and I'll just kind of curve it a little bit just to make it easier to wrap around. And if you're curious as to what I'm always wiping things with in my video, is I have just cut some baby wipes in half, and I use those when my glue oozes out, and I'm constantly getting glue on my fingers because I am a messy crafter. So I was just getting some ready. I didn't have one out. And I'm just going to butt this up against this piece and go around. And the reason I don't put it on underneath and then glue these down, it just gives you a little more bulk right there. So I just glue it up against it and put it on. And I'll just put some glue on as I go around. I think that's far enough. Butts up against it nicely. Just some little scissors here, and I want to cut it. It's like right there. Looks good. I'm just going to make sure it's lined up along the bottom. And now we have that little trim piece along our shoe. And the file, in Karolina's file, it comes with this little piece here. It's just a little rectangle that's rounded on the corners. And I think I'm going to glue it on the back of the shoe, like so. Just centering that along the back. Yeah, I like that. Love this glitter paper. And then I cut a piece of paper. I don't think this was in the file. I cut this at 1/2 inch by 1 3/4. I'm going to curve it with my bone folder. And I'm just going to glue it here in the middle. So I'm going to put glue just along the bottom. I'm going to center it here. And then put that. Get my fingers to work. There we go. And I'm just going to hold that till it adheres, making sure it's centered. Make sure your tab is lined up even, like so. So the shoe is finished, except for putting our ribbon or lace, whatever you're going to line it with. And I'm getting out the 2 pieces that form the bottom of the shoe. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that they match up. So I have them where you'll have the right side of your paper, and then you'll flip one backwards and they will line up. So this is a little bit thicker than this side, a little bit wider, so it will form the front part of the shoe, and this will form the back. But before we put them together, I will add my decorative paper, and I'm using some Valentine's paper, so I'm just going to glue this there. So when you're gluing this on, the textured side of the cardstock on my paper is the front. So I want to make sure I glue the front of what I want to show on the Memory Deck's base piece. We've got them like so, and now we're going to glue the 2 Memory Deck's Memory Dex bases together. Okay, so make sure that you have the bottoms lined up. And now that looks good. So I'm just going to do a dry fit. If there's a part that you think is going to stick out, you can just put a little pencil mark and then trim it off. So I'm going to go ahead and put a lot of glue on the base. I'm going to line it up, making sure it fits nicely. Keep going around and rubbing to make sure it adheres. I have the pieces that form the shoebox, and the lid is 5 1/4 by 4 1/2, and all I've done is score a 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. And the base is 6 3/4 by 7 3/8, and it is scored at 1 5/8 inch on all 4 sides. So what we can do now is we can go ahead and add our decorative paper to the outside of the lid and the base. For the decorative side pieces on the bottom box, you'll need 2 pieces that measure 4 by 1 1/2, and they'll go on the long sides. And then the top and bottom piece, you'll need 2 of those, are 3 3/8 by 1 1/2. And on the lid, I cut out the glitter paper for the top, and it is 3 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then I'm planning on doing another piece of decorative. I'm just not sure which one I want to use yet. And I also did glitter around the top of the lid, and the 2 for the top and bottom are 3/8 by 3 1/4. And the side pieces are 3/8 inch by 4 1/8. I have our pieces glued to the box bases, and now I'm going to trim along some of the score lines so we can make our box. And I'm just cutting along the score line here up until they intersect in this corner, and I'm going to do the same. I forgot to miter. I'm going to do the same on the opposite side. Kind of hard to see the score line on this red paper. Let's see here. I think that's good. And do this side. Like I said, if I turn it over, there we go. I can see better on this side. And just miter it. And I'll go ahead and trim the lid. Miter. We'll cut the score line and just miter the corner a little bit, and I'm cutting along the, turn it over because I think you can see better, cutting along this score line till they intersect here, just like we're making a traditional box. And I'm just mitering a little tiny bit. And we'll do the opposite side the same way. Okay. A nice burnish. And now I'm just going to glue the flap that we have created to the side of the box. Just line those up. I'm going to hold it for just a second or two. From a nice corner. There we go. And we'll do the same to the other 3 corners. Just a little bit of glue. That is our lid, and now we'll do the bottom. Do these 2 tabs. Just go ahead and put glue on both of them, like so. And now I'm just going to fold it up and line up the edge of this side with the score line. So there's the score line, and I'm just bringing it in until it lines up with our box along that edge, so that looks good. We'll do the same thing to this side. Fits in the box like so. And then our lid goes on. So now we have our completed shoe Memory Dex card. Thanks for watching the tutorial. And remember to visit ASC Craft Supplies. I'll leave their links in the description box. To use my coupon code Michelle10, and any order $75 or more ships free. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.